Exquisitely goofy.
Exquisitely goofy.
Yeah.
You gotta do the finger. Exquisitely goofy.
You're just holding up yellow in sign language. Exquisitely goofy.
It is the Christmas season.
Christmas.
Here we are.
Yes.
Welcome to the Goofin Around podcast.
If you like listening to long-time friends talk about their silly stories from their past
And present.
then this is the podcast for you.
We are your hosts, Lindsay
and Aley. And
welcome to Goofin Around. This was such an eventful episode today.
It is such,
we have such
an
eventful episode
We do.
coming up today. Love and hearts, purely jokes, purely funnies.
Purely fun.
You'll see what we're talking about later. Anyways, what stories are we going to do today? So we're going to go with the 2 for 2 again. 2 stories.
Mm.
And then we have something special to mention to our viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Something silly. Something goofy.
Yes. Something mysteriously goofy.
Mysteriously goofy.
I agree.
Okay, do you want to go first or want to go first?
I can get to go first.
You do. We should just take turns though.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yes. Also, by the way, I apologize in advance if I cough like an iPad kid and sneeze like an iPad kid because I am getting over a sickness.
Yes.
No more disease. So this first story happened to me. Happened to my family when we went to Applebee's. I was like, let me see something. Okay, so when my sister was like still a little kid, I think she was even still like a baby, and like the little like carry-on like crib thing or like
a carrier.
Like a car seat carrier, baby carrier. So like, and we went to Applebee's, and so we always get a booth because I don't know, my family just always gets booths, and they bring us to our table. And like my dad is carrying my little sister. It was either Jenna was a baby or she was just a really like tiny toddler. But I'm pretty sure she was a baby. And so we like, our waiter like brings us over to the booth. My sister gets like, she goes in first, like they slide her like baby carriage into the like corner, so she's like there. Then it's me, and then it's my dad. And as soon as my dad sits down into the booth, the whole booth just goes brown. My dad broke the booth at Applebee's. And the whole booth like this, and my little sister went like flying. And I think this is where my dad like might have caught her or something.
Oh my gosh,
or
she flew?
It was either that or she almost like fell out of her
Oh my God.
But the moment he sat down, the wood just couldn't do it anymore and broke. And my little sister like almost fell. And I remember it was so powerful that I slid against my dad. Like I went like, and my dad my dad's face. My dad was like, my dad goes, he was just like,
exactly that. We gotta get a zoom on that.
It was just a, and my mom was like, crying. But it was, yeah. So pretty much my dad broke the seat at Applebee's. I think it was Applebee's. It might have been like Outback or something. It was one of those sit-down restaurants, but I think it was Applebee's.
Applebee's fits.
I'm pretty sure. And I think that's why we don't eat at Applebee's anymore. Yeah. Like, I don't remember ever going with my family to Applebee's. They probably did it just to us.
They probably tried to steal us.
But yeah.
I cannot do that.
But yeah. So, yeah.
That is
my first story.
Just the fact that it's Applebee's too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's just like the cherry on top, the star on top of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your next story you got for us, or do you want to switch?
Yeah, it's like back and forth. Yeah. So
okay, we'll switch. So I got 2 really good stories today that I want to tell about. My first one will probably, you know what, we'll go back to another childhood history, childhood event. So I used to live in a 2-story house, and when there was the living room, and then you came in, and there was stairs to go upstairs, you know, on the second level of the house, and okay, so the best part about this story, though, is I genuinely can't remember if this really happened or if it was a dream. Because I used to do dumb things as a kid all the time. Like, I would just do dumb stuff, and I would end up, like, getting hurt, but I never really got hurt as bad as, like, some people would think that I did. And so my bedroom, me and all my brother's bedrooms were on the second level. And so it was really late at night, and at the time, one of my uncles on my stepmom's side of the family was staying with us, and I think he had just gone downstairs into the basement, because our basement was like a little bit ish enough that somebody could like live down there, and I came downstairs. It was really late at night, probably about like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I don't know what happened. So if you're a kid who lived in a house with stairs at all, one of your things, and especially if you grew up with the movie Mary Poppins, you wanted to do things like fly, like go down the banister, like the banister of the stairs, and like try and see if you could slide down just for like fun. I used to do that at school all the time. It was awesome.
Like we used to like get on like the metal board and slide down. Yeah, I used to. I had my friend, one of my old friends, like her the stairs had one of those, but it had a column at the bottom. So what you would do
me too.
Is you would like.
And then it twisted back, and then it would
it wouldn't twist, but...
Well, no, there was a banister, and then there was a pole, and then it went down.
Yeah, and then but you would like you would lay on it like flat, and then you would slide down like butt first, and it was so fun.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I tried to do, but it was obviously wood, like a wood banister, and so there was the upstairs, and then it came down the banister, and then there was a pole right here, and it came down. And so I decided it would be a good, fun, silly idea. And I think this might have been when we were just moving in, because I don't think I broke anything, like, in the place that I fell.
Yeah.
Story hint. I decided it would be a good, fun idea to try and slide down the banister, and I wanted to see if I could like control the speed, because it was a pretty long banister, at least for how small I was, and this was a while ago. So I got on the banister and I tried to slide down, and I rolled off on the other side, and right under it there was a desk and a chair. And it wasn't like a desk chair, it was like a kitchen chair, like a kitchen table chair. And I rolled off the side, and I hit the top shelf of the desk, and then I hit the desk part and rolled over onto the floor. And I just got up, and I think my dad walked in the room.
Just gets up after getting hurt.
My dad walked in the room and was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? What just happened? Like where did you just come from? Did you just fall from the ceiling?" Kind of, just a little bit. And I did not tell him. I just told him that I was running and I fell. That was it.
You know that sound?
I lied.
The fact that
it was clear on the desk because everything was moved around. Nothing was where it was. I fell from the banister onto the desk onto the floor.
You know what's really funny about that? You said the way you said I could just imagine you going boom, boom, and then just being like.
I did
just standing up. You know,
I was trying not to cry too.
It
made
it's like that one meme where it's like, "Hey Tom, hey
Billy,
hey Tom, hey Billy,
hey Tom, hey Billy," falls through the ceiling.
That hurt. Let's give you that.
That was it. Oh, yeah, that was something special. To this day, I will never remember if it was a dream or.
Honestly, it doesn't. It sounds like something you would do.
Yeah.
I could see you because the amount of times I've done stuff like that, like I've fallen all the time. I'm just doing really dumb stuff. But like,
especially climbing in places that.
And then I can just see I can see it happening in real life. So like.
Yeah.
So I think I think it happened.
Oh, that was amazing. Anyway, back to your turn.
All right, yeah. So this story is actually kind of recent-ish. This year, recent. My family for lunch one day got like these chicken tenders that we got from a place, and we were all eating them together with mashed potatoes, all this stuff, and we're eating them. And keep in mind, my mom does not like spicy things. Like, if it's spicy, she'll like put it down and be like, nope, it's too spicy. And so we're eating this chicken, and it wasn't really that spicy. It was just the spice it had on it. And so we're sitting there eating it. My mom takes a bite, and she goes, nope, too spicy. And I was like, it's not even that. And my dad was like, it's not spicy. And like, we're like, what? And I, with full confidence, pull the chicken up and go, it's probably because it has Caucasian seasoning on it. Everyone at the table stopped talking.
Caucasian seasoning.
Everybody at the table stopped talking and looked at me. They all literally went.
That exact.
And I sat there. I was like,
everyone in your family making that face at you.
I sat there. I was like, what? They're like. Caucasian seasoning. I was like, yeah. They're like, you mean Cajun? I was like, oh. And so I literally, and then my mom was like, Caucasian's like a race, like what? And my dad cracks a joke. He goes, Ash's seasoning, Ash seasoning. But it's just the fact but then they laughed at me the whole rest of the like lunch, and like our Caucasian seasoning chicken, but I know it's the fact that I literally held up the chicken, confidently said, I think it's because it has Caucasian seasoning on it. Didn't even realize I said Cajun wrong, and the sad thing is, and I never admitted this to them, but I actually thought that's what I thought Caucasian was Cajun seasoning. I didn't even know that. I forgot. Like, I think I knew. I just, like, for the longest time, I forgot that Caucasian was a race and it's not anything to do with season.
That's amazing.
And so that's why I said
information that I'm finding.
So that's why I said it, because I genuinely thought that's what it was called, and then I felt really dumb after my mom told me that was a race of like humans, and I was like, oh.
You'll never live that down.
Yeah, no, they'd never let me live that down.
Even if I didn't let you live it down, they'll never let you live it down. Oh,
so, yeah.
Oh, it's back to my turn.
It is.
So, this story is actually a pretty big fun story. So, me, my dad, and my younger brother, we'll call him, what should we call him? Bradley. We'll call him Bradley. So, me, my dad, and my younger brother, Bradley, and just all of us, we would normally go to like local baseball games, like for the state that we live in, for safety reasons. I will not say the name of that team, but so we always go to these baseball games. Like it's pretty much been a tradition for my uncle's birthday, especially, and just fun celebration. Like we enjoy baseball genuinely. So a tradition that we have had for like the longest time is to grab the cups, like the baseball cups, right after the game, because nobody takes those cups home, and they're like large, like big size cups that like you get.
We just throw them away.
Yeah. No, we after every game, we will go through right after, as soon as like everybody's left, and we will go down there and we will like harvest these cups, pretty much.
And people drink out of them? Or
you take them home and wash them.
Yeah.
But we would go and like grab these cups, and like we would have like me and Bradley would like have like a secret competition that like we would see who can get more cups, and I always let him win pretty much because I wanted to see him and see how many cups he could get. So this last time that we went to
I'm like dying inside.
this last time that we went to a baseball game, we went, and it was right after the game, and we went and harvested all these cups. Like we got so many. But the thing was, Bradley, when he went down there and he was like grabbing all these cups, I kid you not, it was in the 50s of the amount of cups that he grabbed. Like, it was so big, and I can actually probably find the picture. We'll say right here. This is the picture of that we took right after, of like all the cups that we got. It was a ridiculous amount. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So my dad was like laughing, dying, like trying to tell him like, "Oh, put some of those back. Like we have enough."
We don't need 50 baseball cups.
Literally.
Our cupboard's not that big.
Literally, and like the older he's grown, like I swear he just becomes more competitive.
Yeah.
My brother is very competitive, and so that was pretty much basically most of the reason why he got so many cups. So yeah.
You like got 3? Like, oh, like I found 3. I found 50.
Yeah, I found 50. I think I got 20, and he got like 20 as well. After that, I like got like 10 or 15, and it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
And then he came and he was like, "Dad, look how many I got."
I was like, I got so many. You're like leaning.
Yeah. I actually think it was. And then as we were walking out of the gate, there was like people trying to ask us for our cups, and I was like, go get your own. There's like so many. Because we had to go put some back. There was so many. Like I don't even know why he grabbed that many. Anyways. How are we feeling in this part of the episode?
I should put a cough count of how many times I've coughed. Or sniffled.
You know what? We should add me actively coughing.
No. I'm actually like
just getting over sickness. Like this is the day after, like kind of thing. So we found something new recently.
Oh yes.
I got it.
Actually, you know what's before you say that, you know what's really funny is I probably was the first one to see that, and then I really haven't screenshotted, and then I was gonna text you it, and then I fell asleep, and then I wake up and I get a text message from it, and I was like, oh my gosh, but I didn't respond to it because I was gonna wait for you.
Yeah. So the other day we got a DM on Instagram from another Goofin' Around podcast.
Which they were the first.
They were.
They were the
first, pretty much. They were they started their podcast.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. But should we go into, because if you guys are listening to this podcast right now, listening to this episode, we listened to your most recent episode that talked about the Goofin' Around podcast.
Yes, the other Goofin' the other Goofin' Around podcast recently made a podcast, and we actually accidentally like stumbled across it.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah, we were looking at it because we've never listened to one of their episodes before. We just because to be honest, I don't think we'll get into that later. But we pretty much we saw it, and then we were going to listen to it, and then all of a sudden we see
I was
copycat.
I was looking at their Spotify, and I was just like seeing like what they had on there and like how many followers they had and like their ratings and stuff. Just not as much in comparison with ours, but I was just like seeing like, how well are these guys doing? And we saw the title. You know what? I could probably pull it up right now because it's my most recent listen. they posted an episode saying, "There's another goofing around?" ?
And so we sat in our government class.
We were.
And we listened to it, and they talked about us and said that we stole their name.
We did.
And this is where
let me just tell you their description. Join us for our engaging conversation about copycats. You know what? That's even the only thing that you just need to worry about.
Yeah.
Because the others talking about whatever subjects they talk about in that.
And if you want to listen to the rest of that,
yes,
I go listen to their podcast.
Yes, go listen to their podcast
Because it actually was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, especially listening to it in government, it was really nice.
We both of the podcasts have like different.
We
do different things.
Yeah,
like
different.
It definitely wasn't the same, which is what I think they might have been scared of. Or not scared of, but like, you know, like might have been worried about.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, obviously.
Reasonably so, because
like,
you
guys
guys
understand that.
did fairly have the goofing around before we did, even though we had no idea you existed. Like, we didn't know, like, there was really another goofing around.
But one thing that caught us off guard was when they said we stole their name. And how they got really close on guessing how we may have decided it. They said something along the lines. The guy said something along the line of like, I bet that at the beginning, like what we did, like they said something like that. They said at the beginning when we made our first podcast, like we looked it up and stuff, and then we saw that there was
no other significant like sources of like the same.
Yeah. Name. Also, I tried to do like a guy voice, but that didn't. I'm sick, and it just sounded like. But
yeah, Aley, apologize.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be rude. It's not a guy sound.
I'm kidding.
But the funny thing is that kind of that's what happened, but also
we owe you this story.
We owe you this story. We owe you this explanation.
To the Goofin' Around podcast, the other Goofin' Around. Well, they're just goofing around.
They're just goofing around.
Goofing around. The other goofing around, and to our viewers and listeners, I feel like we should give you a story on how. So
how we decided the name was actually, and to do a podcast was in government. We were talking about like it would be kind of funny if we just because we were telling stories to each other and we're like this would be cool as a podcast. And then we went to go to the library to work on a project. Before that, we stopped at Taco Bell.
We did,
and we had a feast. And I turned on. I went live on Instagram on my account, and I titled it "Goofing Around." Just randomly chose it just because I don't know. I just had to think of something quick, so I did that. And we're sitting there eating again. I was joking around. I'm like, "Oh, what if we did a podcast, a mukbang podcast?" Like as a joke. And I was like, "I know what a podcast is gonna be." And then Lindsay points at the title of the live and goes, Goofin' Around. I said, Goofin' Around, that's such a good podcast name. And so we went to the library, we got a project finished, and then we got straight on Spotify, like we put the name in, we made like all this stuff, we created it.
Goofin' Around podcast,
and then
made the whole thing. And then I think it was actually not so long after that you actually like made the logo for it. Like, well, we were still hanging out together.
Yes, we were making the logo for it. And then I think I had searched something, and then they popped up, and I was like, oh, no. I was like, Lindsay? We might have a problem. I said, maybe we should, like, change something about it. And then we kept looking, and we were like, oh, they only got, like, 15 subscribers. And the part that made me was, like, they hadn't posted in a while.
Yeah.
So we thought they maybe, like, gave up or something. So we're like, oh, okay, like, we can use it. I mean, it seems like they haven't used it in a while. Like, what would hurt? And so that's why we used it. But we had no intention on like stealing somebody else's podcast name. Like it was never our intention to do that.
Yes. Genuinely all love to.
Yeah. Like they have a great podcast. Like if you guys like, I suggest go checking them out.
Yes.
It was actually really nice. It's a good podcast.
Honestly, I might even put their channel link in the description just so that you guys can also go listen to them if you so please. They've got their target, like their subject is just a little bit different than ours. Ours is kind of like a storytelling kind of thing, you know, just goofing around, having fun. And they're actually I've seen like some of their Instagram posts and like when they DM'd us the other day, it was actually pretty cool. Like, we didn't really have that much conversation, but whoever I was talking to.
There's not like beef against us.
Yeah, no.
We're not like suing each other.
No, full disclaimer. Honestly, if anything, we may plan on actually doing a podcast.
Like an episode together. That'd be cool.
Yes, we can see about working that out somehow, you know?
Yeah, that'd be
that'd be so cool. And especially to like collab with like the different ways that we go about our like content. Mm-hmm. I feel like that would be perfect. And we can all like get to meet each other and stuff.
Yeah. But it's really funny though, because it's really funny how it's like we're like the girl, we're like girl goofing around, and like the boy goofing around. But like they're like doing their like what they tell their version of their podcast, and we're like over here doing like our podcast. Yeah,
you know, for fun.
Yeah.
So that is our story today.
Yeah, that is it.
Shout out to the other round, you know. And I think my favorite part of that episode, honestly, was when they started talking about, they were like looking
Spotify
at
rap.
The Spotify rap, but no, when they were talking about.
But don't give it away. Don't give it away. Let them listen to it.
That's right. You have to go listen to it to find it out. To find out what we're talking about, you should actually really go listen to it.
And they have cats.
And they have cats.
See.
And they have cats.
They said we don't have cats. We don't because I'm allergic. But that's me. But we have dogs.
We have dogs.
I'm also allergic to dogs, but the dogs I have I'm not allergic to. So.
They're puppies.
They're little Yorkies. They're ankle biters.
Yes.
So. They're literally ankle biters. People were like, I think I told someone, they were like, oh, you should do like a cats versus dog kind of thing. And I was like, if I had to choose, I would choose cats. So. Like, that's what?
It's so silly. Okay, so, yeah. Actually, I just figured out, so the May 24th, when we started our podcast, it was about, I think it was like November 6th.
It was November.
It was early November when we started the podcast. And so, we saw that the last time that they had actually made an episode was May 24th, that I've actually found out now. And then after that, they made a episode November 30th. And they actually uploaded 2 episodes today.
Oh.
Yeah, they uploaded a second one after the one that they uploaded today from that I actually just figured out. And you guys
maybe they were being serious about uploading one every hour.
Uploading one every hour, yeah.
Dang, we gotta work harder, Lindsay. Come on.
Step up, man. Step up. Advertising. You know, we gotta get up on our business management. Management. We gotta get up on our marketing.
Let me call our manager real quick.
Let
me go get the manager.
All right.
Hi.
Literally.
Go. We still need to get the manager. We need to get the manager.
Okay. I'll go get him.
Sorry, wait.
Shuffling sounds. Good morning.
Good
morning. Anyways, so I think that we'll just about wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
You know, we probably do have some special things coming up. And for anybody who celebrates the Christmas, I hope everyone's having good holidays. And we do plan on having a Christmas episode.
We do plan on having
We have been planning on having a Christmas episode, you silly other goofing around.
Hit the tree.
Hit the tree.
But in all seriousness,
all
jokes.
Like, no hate to these guys, actually. If anything, like, kudos to y'all. Y'all are doing pretty good. Like, I'm glad to know, like, there's other people out there that, like,
do this kind of thing,
especially, like,
it's fun.
And it is fun. Like, podcasts are so big these days, and, like, just to goof around and, like, have fun with your dudes and your friends.
With your dudes.
Yes. Honestly. So, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the other goofing around. All love and hearts. We hope to be able to do something in our future. Maybe we'll see about our Christmas episode.
Yeah. And to all of our goober viewers,
yes.
Don't forget to submit your stories for the next episode. We will be we'll be telling our story. and then we'll be reading some of your stories. So don't forget to submit those on Instagram, DM us your funny stories, or just put it in the
in the description on our YouTube,
and you mean in the comments.
or leave it in our Spotify comments, or
yeah,
like what did you like about this episode?
Yeah. So if you have a funny story, don't forget to let us know, and we'll read it out into the next one. Also, if you do submit a story, don't forget to tell us if you want us to use your name or not.
Yeah, if you want to remain anonymous, that is like totally okay.
Yeah.
Just please let us know whenever you submit like your stories for us to tell. So, yeah.
All right.
This has been
Goofin' around.